All right, let's jump right in. We're going to talk about something that is absolutely critical to aviation safety. And you know what? It all starts right here on the warehouse floor with you. This is about so much more than just stocking shelves. It's about protecting every single flight that takes off. So let me start by asking a really important question. Could a single box, just one part that passes through your hands, be enough to ground an entire aircraft? The answer? You better believe it. Yes. And that's exactly why your job, your attention to detail, is just so incredibly important. I want you to think of yourselves as the gatekeepers. You are the guardians of airworthiness. Every single part you inspect, every box you open, is a critical decision. Because if a part that isn't up to standard gets installed, the safety of that aircraft is compromised. Your checks are the first and honestly the most important line of defense against that ever happening. So this all boils down to one crucial skill: knowing the difference between a part that's safe to fly and one that's a potential disaster waiting to happen. Let's break down what you need to look for and what you need to look out for. Okay, first up, an approved part. Think of it like an open book. Its entire story, from the moment it was designed to how it was made to its current condition, it's all been tracked, documented, and certified. It's got a clear paper trail that proves, without any doubt, that it is safe to install. Now, an unapproved part, that's a complete mystery. And sure, it could be a fake, but it could also be a real part with a hidden, dangerous history. The point is, it doesn't have the right paperwork. And in aviation, a mystery is a risk we can never, ever afford to take. And it's so important to get this. We're not just talking about counterfeit parts here. An unapproved part could be a totally genuine component that was just maintained by the wrong person. Or maybe it's a brand new part that sat on a shelf too long and has passed its shelf life. You see, any break in that chain of paperwork, any gap in its history, makes a part unapproved, and that means it's unsafe. So, how do you actually spot these problems? Well, your first and, frankly, most powerful tool is the paperwork. Getting really good at checking these documents is absolutely fundamental to everything we're talking about. I want you to treat this document like a passport for the part. Every single detail on it has to be present and correct. You've got to ask yourself, is the issuing authority someone we recognize? Does the part number on this paper match the number on the component digit for digit? Is it signed by someone who actually has the authority to sign it? You have to look closely at every single detail. You know, the difference between a real document and a fake one often comes down to the small stuff. A real one looks professional. It's a clean, original print, all the boxes are filled in. But if you see a blurry photocopy of a photocopy, or weird typos, or a part number that's been crossed out and rewritten by hand, those aren't just little mistakes. Those are massive red flags. Okay, but your job doesn't end with the paperwork. Let's move on to your second toolkit: your own eyes, your hands, and maybe most importantly, your instincts. This is your next critical line of defense. This is where you really have to trust yourself. You know, if a price seems way too good to be true, you should be asking why. If a really rare part suddenly shows up overnight, that's suspicious. If the box looks different from how it normally does, you need to investigate. And please, always, always trust that little voice in your head, that gut feeling that tells you something just isn't right. So, you've used your tools, you've checked the paper, you've looked at the part, and you've spotted a red flag. What do you do next? Well, the protocol for this is simple, and it is completely non-negotiable. The moment you find something that just doesn't add up, the steps you take are absolutely critical. They are designed to do one thing: contain the threat and make sure it never ever gets near an aircraft. Step 1. You quarantine it immediately. That means you take the part and all its paperwork and you physically separate it from all the other inventory. Step 2. You report it. Follow your company's procedure exactly. And Step 3. Provide all the details you can. Take photos, make copies of the documents, and write down exactly what made you suspicious. That report is the evidence that protects the entire system. Now, there are some situations that demand an even higher level of caution. We're talking about parts that don't come from the usual supply chain. Things from retired aircraft, or salvaged from an accident, or pulled from a plane that was scrapped. These parts are in a special high-risk category. The rule here is incredibly simple. Assume nothing. A part from a retired plane needs its entire life story researched. A part from a salvaged plane could have hidden damage you can't see. And the scrapped part? It must be physically destroyed or marked in a way that makes it impossible to ever be used again. Without a clear, verifiable, and approved path back into service, that part is junk, period. When you get right down to it, it all comes back to this. A team of sharp, well-informed, and alert people in the warehouse is the #1 defense. Your hard work, your diligence, it's a direct and vital contribution to flight safety. So let this be your mantra. Check, quarantine, report. Every single time.
I want you to remember, you're not just store's staff. You are guardians of safety. Every box you open, every document you look at, is a chance for you to protect people's lives. Take that responsibility seriously and be proud of the critical role you play every single day. Thank you.